anyone. He always spoke very sparingly. In an entire day he might say only a few sentences. On the other hand, he could endure many hours of sitting and walking in meditation. He had a remarkably dignified, noble appearance that inspired respect and devotion. Just a glimpse of his serene, peaceful countenance made a lasting impression. He was greatly revered by monks and laity alike and, like Achariya Mun, he had many devoted disciples. It was well known that these two Achariyas shared immense love and respect for each other. In the early years, they enjoyed traveling in each other's company. They spent most of the year living together, both during and after the annual rainy season retreat. In the middle years, they normally spent these retreats in separate locations, but close enough to each other to make visiting easy. Very seldom, then, did they spend a retreat together, for each had an increasingly large following of disciples, making it difficult to find enough space to accommodate them all at one location. Living separately eliminated the burden of having to arrange living quarters for so many monks. Even when living apart, they often thought of each other with genuine concern. On occasions when Achariya Sa's disciples visited Achariya Mun, the first question he asked concerned the health and well-being of Achariya Sa, who in turn invariably reciprocated by inquiring about Achariya Mun's well-being when one of his disciples paid a visit. Through such messengers, each then conveyed his respectful greeting to the other, maintaining contact in this way at every opportunity. Each of these great Achariyas had enormous respect for the other's spiritual achievements. Both used words full of praise and admiration when speaking to their disciples about each other. Their comments never contained a hint of criticism. Achariya Mun wholeheartedly agreed with Achariya Sa's comment about his siddha being adventurous and tending to go to extremes, soaring high in the sky one moment, then plunging into the earth before diving to the ocean floor. His siddha truly did have such mercurial characteristics. Dropping into samadhi in the early stages of his practice, his siddha tended to focus outward then, perceiving all manner of unusual phenomena, things he had never dreamed of seeing. For example, he saw a bloated corpse laid out before him. As I have mentioned before, when he concentrated his attention on this image, it soon changed into a translucent disc which in turn altered its form, creating an endless series of images. Even after discovering the correct method of practice, when his siddha converged into calm, it was still inclined to focus outward, perceiving countless types of phenomena. Sometimes, he felt his body soaring high into the sky where he traveled around for many hours, looking at celestial mansions before coming back down. At other times, he burrowed deep beneath the earth to visit various regions in hell. There, he felt profound pity for its unfortunate inhabitants, all experiencing the grievous consequences of their previous actions. Watching these events unfold, he often lost all perspective of the passage of time. In those days, he was still uncertain whether these scenes were real or imaginary. He said that it was only later on, when his spiritual faculties were more mature, that he was able to investigate these matters and understand clearly the definite moral and psychological causes underlying them. Any lapse in concentration as his siddha converged into calm created an opening through which it could again focus outward to perceive such phenomena. His newfound proficiency notwithstanding, if his attention turned outward, his siddha would be off in a flash. Achariya Mun told us that early on, due to inexperience with the mercurial nature of his own mind, when focusing his siddha to examine the lower half of his body, instead of following the various parts down to the soles of his feet, it would shoot out through his lower torso and penetrate deep into the earth, just as Achariya Sa had so astutely remarked. No sooner had he hurriedly withdrawn the siddha back into his body than it would fly through the top of his head, soaring high into the sky where it paced back and forth contentedly, showing no interest in returning to his body. Concentrating with intense mindfulness, he had to force the siddha to re-enter the body and perform the work he wanted it to do.